So talk about your process, and then we're gonna move on from this. Tell me about how Tom Scioli did this. Pencils uh, with graphite, and then digital color. Like, tell me your process a little bit.
Here's the breakdown of the process. I have an iPad. I have a program called Procreate. I have an Apple Pencil, and I draw my layouts on the iPad, and just down and dirty. Figure out the what the page is going to be, and then I send that to my computer, put it in Photoshop, blow it up, print it out, and then tape that to a piece of Bristol board, put that on a light box, and then get a pencil and just trace it, riff, take that.
Oh, really? Okay, so digital breakdowns, real pencils on top.
Yeah, real pencils, and then do that complete pencil drawing, scan that pencil drawing back in, bring it into Procreate, and then do the colors on Procreate, and then send it back to Photoshop, marry it all together, do the lettering, and then that's that. So it's like digital, paper, digital.
Fascinating. I love that. And
yeah, it just grew, my process grew into that. Like, it kind of, I've been working a bunch of different, and it just evolved into that. Like that's just how I'm currently working, and have been working for the past 3 or 4 years, and maybe I'll be working a totally different way in the near future. But
I'll bet you. I mean, with software, right? It really is like you could be in who knows where you might have a helmet on, and drawing drawing in the air, or you put some eye drops in, or whatever the next technology.
That's I would imagine. Yeah, it would be like a liquid thing, or something you put on your tongue, or something, or something you a mist that you inhale.
But seriously, let's talk for a second. I really want to talk to you about this, because you're an artist, you're skilled. These are tools. I'm a computer guy, so I do not denigrate the use of computers in any way for anything, right?
Sure, yeah.
But talk about, I don't know, I was always frustrated sometimes using software because a version of the software changes, or my version's out of date, or a feature disappears, or whatever. Right. And that must be super frustrating if that's something you're using in your workflow or what have you. So I don't know. Are there trade-offs? Are there things you miss about being purely pencil?
No. I mean, I thought that staring at a screen for all those hours would be fatiguing, but it's not. So there's not that. I don't miss anything. It's just so much better, and so much it's eliminated so much of just the drudgery and the busy work. It really
and the waste.
Yeah,
right. You spill your ink on the page and you ruined a week's worth of work or whatever.
I hate the mess. Oh man, I hate cleaning brushes. I hate color. That was the biggest because I love to paint. I love that media. I love the what you get, the result. But I hate the mess. I hate cleaning oil paint off. Having it it gets on your clothes and on your hands, and you just can never get rid of it. And this is it's this magic paint box of a million different. It's a dream come true. It's exactly what I needed all my life. I can't and because I'm still have that element of the pencil in there.
Yeah, right.
It's but I'm also looking maybe I could abandon paper altogether. I'm
that's what I mean. The right program comes out, or the right stylist, or the right whatever it's going to be, and who knows? Maybe you could.
Yeah, I used to be a lot more precious about these things, and I thought oh no, I would never want to give. But yeah, those days are gone. I am kind of just more.
If you can't tell the difference, why would it matter what you're using, right? If the end result, when I look at Brian Bolland's work now, I would have never guessed that he's doing all his stuff digitally,
doing it digitally. He was such an early adopter. He's been doing it for so long, and he was doing it in a period where you didn't even realize that digital existed.
Right. Yeah. Right. But never missed it. There was never a period where it's the digital Bolland period where it looks like a Mike Sayans trash graphic novel. You know what I mean? Like it was up to his standards every step of the way, or I don't think he would have used it. Right. So
Sure. Yeah.
that's one of my favorite examples of a digital artist that you just can't tell the difference. Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to me, it's about like the ideas and the execution and things like that. And so some of these like old materials do have a certain like pleasure to like for the artist.
Yeah.
But like digital stuff has its own,
When I see Jim Rugg and Ed Piskor talking about Zipatone and they're in there with X-Acto knives, I feel like you could just do that in Photoshop, and who could tell the difference? Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like that's a texture that you could just drop somewhere. And
well, yeah, I mean, like,
is it worth it?
I mean, they do a lot of digital work too.
Yeah.
So but I think like in the case of those guys, it is a matter of like it's just more fun for them to do it that way.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And if it's more fun for you, like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, it is a lot. Like to me, slinging a pencil is a lot of fun. Like I do really
right. Yeah, right.
And if I try abandoning the pencil, and I don't enjoy it, then I'll bring the pencil back. But
you're right.
Really into this stuff.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. I mean, you use the tools that are out there, stay there. Like when people go, well, like you're not a real artist if you use a computer, and go, that's like saying like when they developed the new acrylic paints, like you were not an artist if you used a newer, better tool to make your art.
Yeah, that's like what my grandfather said. At a time when making art on a computer was like extremely difficult. Like I did like using like the earliest versions of like Adobe Illustrator and stuff, and he said, well, that's not art, because I think what he pictured was you type in the word castle and then a castle appears. He didn't, so you're still drawing, you're moving, it's just you're moving in
right
mouse instead of holding a pen, but you're still doing, or you take a microphone and you say, computer, draw me a horse. I think that that's what he was picturing.
Totally. Yeah, no, totally.
It was, it was such like a foreign world to him. It may as well have been Star Trek.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so we're talking about technique and Jim Rugg and Ed Piskor. Let's talk about Cartoonist Kayfabe. You're like the unofficial like third guy of that thing, or you've been on there a lot. Your buddies, you live in Pittsburgh. You guys hang out, I assume, and
not lately, for obvious reasons, but
yeah, which is a bummer, right? I mean, how's that affecting you?
Yeah, I mean, like same as everybody. I mean, it sucks. It's it's just it's how things have to be. But yeah, like it'll be nice when this whole thing's over and we're all everything's back to normal. Yeah, I think that's something like we all have in common right now. Like it's kind of unified, people and globally too. I mean, it's it's like a global problem.
What's amazing is that like for me, for my show and stuff, it's like now it's this renaissance of like streaming media or a new golden age of like live TV and interviews. There's people sitting at home with nothing to do. They're like, sure, I'll talk to you. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, even like for me having a book out, I mean, there were a lot of things that we lost as opportunities to sort of, get the book out there. But there are a lot of people doing a lot of reading right now and a lot of, time on their hands. So it in some ways, it is like a good time to have a book out. Yeah,
well, a lot of people watching YouTube too. So, so how is working with Kayfabe? How's that affected? Like, has that positively impacted your career?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say because you don't know exactly like, okay, this thing came from this or that. I really enjoy talking to those guys, and I really enjoy talking to those guys with an audience. Like I mean, we've sort of talked that way with each other for years. And I always felt like it was entertaining, and I felt like other people would find it entertaining too. But it was something that was just among, and occasionally other people would sort of witness it or be there for it, and kind of like really jaws would drop, like, you know, like people were into it. So yeah, it's just cool talking to those guys, and it's cool talking to those guys, you know, with, you know, like, you know, having like a definite, you know, product for it. And again, like we were talking about, of like, okay, does crowdfunding just become one of the things that are necessary to becoming a cartoonist? Does working digitally or social media, or like, does that become necessary? It's like, okay, well, does having some kind of, you know, video presence, does that become necessary? And to me, it's like, I see the value of it, and you know, like I get it, and yeah, just this time that we're in right now, it's like, you know, you can have the same production values as the Tonight Show or something, you know, so it's like,
or better.
Or better.
If you look at this show, I mean, compared to those first few weeks of pandemic, I feel like I was ahead of the curve from the Tonight Show.
Just like huge opportunity, and I am kind of, yeah, like toying with, you know, exactly that, like you know, putting more into like a, you know, like a video presence or whatever, because I see the value.
But it's a grind and anything else, right?
It really is. Like, I see how those guys work at it, and it becomes like a second job. But again, it's like, if this is what's necessary, then
yeah,
you make
totally
that adjustment.